NANI?!
Let's take a look at Motor Nuclear's Zhao Yun. And one little fun part I would like to really show off is the aftermarket pickup from Gundamit was this amazing looking cloak that has some metal wire on the inside. And it's very easily attached by removing the shoulders and the arms. You can place them through the pegs and you can see how massive that actual cape is and how cool it adds to our character. But let's get to the actual unit. For our Zhao Yun, we will start from the top and taking a look at this gorgeous head with some clear parts, a lot of color separation. One of the fantastic parts I would love to say about this unit is, again, its level of detail. All of the color separation that you're going to see on the unit is fantastic. And since the head is on a ball joint, the neck itself can also move forward and back a little bit, so you do have that articulation, but it just connects via ball joint. So you don't have that much range of movement. But depending on how you position it, you can still look around side to side. Wouldn't go full 360, so do keep that in mind. Quick update. We will take a look at the chest and its articulation as well for Zhao Yun. Now, of course, the unit itself can still rotate 360 or pretty close to it, so you're going to want to be careful with all the other pieces around it. Now, for the body, you are able to move it to the side once, twice. So you've got 1, 2 movement, and you can see the forward movement a little bit better here in the back. 1, 2. So you really can kind of see how that moves for the body. So you've got that 1, 2. So very nice movement and some nice articulation for the body. Now, when you have the arm connected, and I want to point this out, if you're not careful, this portion here for the arm will go too forward inside. So you're going to want to try to maneuver it so it's flush. And when it's flush, push in from the shoulder. And the arm will go nicely into the chest piece there, so you can kind of see how it will look nice and flush. Now, the cool thing about that, though, is that you still have a beautiful butterfly joint, and so that's going to allow you to move forward and back. So that is going to allow some really nice range of movement, and the shoulder itself can go down and up, which is great because even the shoulder piece can extend out and the actual armor piece can come out. The shoulder itself can come out a full 360. So that is something I did want to go ahead and touch base on there. And I don't know how to show it off well, but there's also some really nice forward movement right here at the hip. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. And another piece that I wanted to talk about was on the head unit back here. You do have a part that does hinge in, though it's kind of tight, and the hair unit will be able to peg in, and that is gorgeous how it looks. So yeah, there you go. You can see how it can move up and down slightly. And since it's on a peg, you are able to rotate it. So that is something else I did want to touch base on. Back to the review. Comes on in a little bit tighter. So definitely dependent on how tight you push in the arm unit, you're going to want to probably make it a little bit more flush when connecting it. So let's talk about the arm unit since we have this here. There is a nice little portion in the back that once you have it detached, you can do this really long and nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sectioned piece that do have, let's get them nice and up and tight. We got ball joint connect to a ball joint. So they have a connecting unit that has two females, ball joint to ball joint. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 units. So there's 12 points of articulation on that tail. And you get some really fluid looking motion to it. It is replaceable. And if you don't need that on there, I believe you can just remove the attach point and have that clear. Movement, and I believe that is all that you've got on the arm. You can still 360 at the bicep, and you have a 1, 2 point of articulation for the arm. You do have a ball joint on the hands, and I believe that's all that you have articulation wise. Connection for a peg. Let's see. No, that's it. All you have is just a regular ball joint. That is detachable, so that way you can have a little bit of movement or some less detail, less things to worry about that are poking you. Tons of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs of different hands that you have, from grabbing your staff or angled to hands, chop, going full on, just all sorts of different range. So there is a plethora of accessories there to take a look at. One of the cool things I will say for the waist is that the front skirt, when it's connecting to go onto our Yulan horse, you can connect this portion or disconnect it, so that way you can have a forward cover. But obviously you can't have that when you're on top of the horse, and for the sake of articulation, we're going to get rid of it. The front skirt also is on a ball joint that can move up and down, so you have a lot of options for that range of movement. And the side skirt can also hinge out. Rear can hinge, and is also on a ball joint with some slight movement. But let's be honest, that's not much. But it is cool that it can kick out that far. Now, for the side skirt to be able to come out the way that I'm hoping it to, it doesn't. But if you maneuver it carefully, you can still get some really nice parts which have ball joints for our side skirt. So a lot of these, oh no, what did we lose? Oh, just for the side foot, which we're getting to. One thing I actually will also acknowledge, and it's fun on this particular unit, is that you have a different hinge on the hip, which allows you, if you can see how square it is, I can bring them in to make it more human-esque looking. But when he's riding the horse, you can, let's see if I can get it, you can straddle. And so that is super amazing and cool. God, I love Motor Nuclear. A lot of the stuff that they do is just form and function. Now, there is still no swing out for this point. So you are going to still be able to kick out fantastically, because they can all do that. But you still will be able to get, as we now will see, right here. Just trying to find the right spot to movement on the thigh for when you start articulating the double joint that you see on that leg. I know we're a little all over the place. Bear with me, y'all. But it's just such an amazing kit. You can see that movement on the knee. Fantastic. You also want to be very careful because this thing is kind of sharp. What's nice is you have some upward and forward movement for the feet. And even though these peg in on the side, we can still show off some forward and up toe movement. So even some slight one right there. And then you can also kick out quite well, and the feet themselves can forward, and kick. So you've got massive range of articulation for such a gorgeous looking kit, in my opinion. And with all of these accessories, which we haven't even talked about on the side, when covered, you can show that there. But with our sword, which is also attachable to our side, which we will show off beautifully as I'm getting stabbed. Oh my god, that is painful. This sword will be able to go in and I'll peg and attach and hang out there. So that's really cool. Love how much articulation, again, that we've been able to get and show off on this kit. Now, a few pieces have obviously fallen off, so we will want to acknowledge that, but nothing that you can't put back on there. And, well, we do have a couple of pieces here, which I think that's on our piece over there. Once you finally have everything connected, and Zhao Yun is where we want it to be, because that is just massive. Ooh! Hold on. Massive. Massive, massive, massive. With, again, an amazing looking weapon too, with all of these cool parts being able to, let's get nice and close up. All of these parts, the yellow, are detachable. And so if you don't want them there, then as you slowly follow the instructions, and the parts that you are replacing can also be covered up, so you don't have to worry about it too much. You are just carefully attaching some pieces. Because I'm not even trying to be careful. You're still left with a beautiful looking spear with hands that can hold on to it. So again, Zhao Yun, amazing, fantastic when we get to looking at the entire model kit. All the accessories and other pieces that can be there, I love it. And with that, all of that added on there, we still can put this guy on top of a horse. So, whew, fantastic, amazing on its price, its value. Cannot wait to see what you all think about it. Taking a look at the Yulan White Dragon Steed, this is a massive boy when it gets to a beefy horse. I've never had anything model kit wise besides maybe a whale that I had built for MS General, and would be the only thing close to this size and scale. And what's more than impressive is that it can balance on its own. It has a really nice solid port for it to be able to connect. You will also have some fun articulation for the tail, which not very steady, but for the sake, you can still be able to use that. We have multiple different forms that can connect onto the top of our horse. When you remove that, there is a way of making it flush so you can show off more of our Yulan. So this can be covered to make it look more flush. Again, you still got some really gorgeous translucent parts that goes on there. I did miss his front crest, so I feel kind of bad. Articulation wise, we have some movement at the mouth, which I think is pretty cool. Little difficult to get in there, but you do have kind of some teeth, really nothing underneath. We have some movement for the reins themselves, and they are on some metal wires, so you can maneuver them however you like. All of these are on a ball joint as well, and you have a bit of some articulation for the neck, but because the ball joints come off a little loosely, I will say that's a little rough. Now you can pull this out to add more to that articulation, but once you've done that, it's going to be challenging to ensure that you know you have it connected and, well, not going to come out. So how do you, I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet. But once you do have that on, oh, gorgeous. You can still go from side to side. Ah! So be cautious about our articulation for the neck, because yeah, I kind of wish this portion was a little bit tighter. But there we go. For the arms, I guess hooves, we've got metal joints, and if you can peek inside here, you do have some movement that you can put for the arm. So that's going to affect how forward it can kick out, and if it's high up, it won't be able to. So you'll need to be cautious on where you are articulating. Gosh, that is so nice and large. It feels good. Tight joints. You've got double bend, 1, 2, even at the ankles and the feet themselves. So that's really cool that you've got that. And this portion itself is also on a hinge. Let's see if I can get it down. So that's going to also affect where you have movement for our horse. For the rear, I believe... No, this one doesn't have any. You just have regular movement for the actual horse with one, like movement on one portion. And we can, if I can, no, forward bend. That's how that one works. Okay, yeah. This one, like horses work, reverse joint, can kick in very, very nicely. And again, all these little effect pieces can also move. And just tight for where he's going to be able to kick. But gotta say, to be able to get a very nice pose like that, fantastic. Little heavy to be able to work on, but worth it for that detail that you'll be able to see. The color separation is something that I really like, that off-white to the gray. And being able to show off that panel lining detail is, ooh, very, very cool. And you also have some other very nice effect pieces there that can move. So I gotta say, Yulan is really, really nice for a horse, of course. And can we... Oi! Very sharp. Be careful. But that's just fantastic. And accessory-wise, for our horse, we've got a solid portion that can get pushed there. And if I'm not mistaken, this would be the regular portion that would go there to make it flush. Or if we're just going for, I don't think that one's too small. I think you actually need, yes, I believe once you have that portion taken off and that goes on there, then we can place this back on side as an actual saddle, and then that's the portion I needed to take off. Or again, if we were careful with my finger, don't get stabbed, cover it, which still has that way of being able to pull it up. Oi! Oh gosh. There we go. That looks a lot nicer. So definitely some fantastic choices. And then we'll need to show off how this and Zhao Yun work together.
Use code Wilgus at the top if you shop at gundammit.com. They've got amazing items on pre-order, on sale, and coming soon. Size comparison wise, we're going to take a look at a lot of different figures here, ranging from King Dao on their small to large, Wolf Technology Barbatos, our Baphomet, SNAA, Blue Flame, The Judge, Figurized Amplified Exodia, the Fat Cat and RG Gundam, as they look unique to a Master Grade and the real grade size, our God Gundam, with the SNAA Leo Liger, some Transformers and the Apocalypse. Then we get to our Motor Nuclear. We've got Bai Qi, we've got so many. Kang Dao, Aobing, Gangjiang. The other Blazing Stars Motor Nuclear, Ainta Sky Defender, the Monument Repair Type Tall Geese, and the MS General Greed. Now for the horse, we can also see the size of it to the same that we had from Kang Toys, Tianfa, Tianwei, Wolf Technology, Baphomet, Blue Flame, Judge, Exodia, Gundam, RX-78. And it just blows me away again, the size, like from the real grade to a master grade and to some larger ones, to the size of Yulan the horse. Our Murasami Liger, Transformers, Apocalypse with the chicken, still has a nice little size to it. The Wei Yuan, love how the Motor Nuclear series looks next to the horse. And every one of them has such a huge presence. And the size to the Ainta Sky Defender or the Tall Geese being the same size is amazing. And on the horse with everything combined, when you finally see how it would look like next to, in that case, two different figures, it does have an amazing presence. So Zhao Yun is a beautiful looking kit, and I am very impressed when I have it next to wherever I'm placing it, it's got presence. And you can see now how it dwarfs Exodia, the Master Grades. Even a group of them all around is going to look amazing. A Liger, Transformer, Apocalypse. That one's impressive, I will say, for its actual size. But then getting into like Bai Qi or the other Motor Nuclears, like they are just Cao Ren, Aobing, so many of them. Sky Defender, right up there. So it's amazing. Getting to look at the box itself, I definitely am very impressed by its size and its weight. And when finally getting it out of its protective casing, we get a chance to see the very, very gorgeous insides. Gotta love the fashion. Box-wise, we have a lot of detail on it itself. On the sides, you already see the inner frame, giving you an idea of where you're going to have some of that articulation, some of its fun features, included accessories in multiple different hands. Legend of Star General, an amazing manhwa, by the way. If you have not started to read it, it is amazing. It does involve a little bit of our main character getting sent back into his younger self with some skills. Articulation for the horse. And the box just has amazing, great looking detail on what you're going to be looking forward to building. Now, size comparison for the box, you can already see how, to a real grade, Armored Core, they're smaller and bigger sizes, variety of different types of boxes, from master grades to high grades to Zoids, Kotobukiya, to Bandai, to the trading cards, SH Fake Arts, Pop-Up Parade, Mega Man, Labubu, ooh, some MS General, no, the MS Girls, there we go. Now, looking at the actual box itself, we are going to see a lot of detail that is impressive and just so much in there. Instructions are very clear and we'll be able to explain everything that you're looking for. Metal frame for the horse are Yulan. Fantastic. Beefy legs. We'll show those off a little bit more later. And I think we may have to rush through a little bit of this. Give me a second. For the actual frame of Zhao Yun, lots of separated parts, all easily labeled so you can see where they're supposed to be. Good parts. Good things. And what's fun too is that the actual unboxings are separated, so all the parts in one side are for Zhao Yun, the other one will be for our horse, Yulan. Plastic feels really good too. Plenty of runners. Lots of pre-painted parts. The inner frame ones will show a lot of detail. Clear other parts will have some metallic portions in the back to show them off. Things are undergated beautifully. Lots of work, I will say, but all of it's worth it to show a really nice looking model kit. A little annoying when you have like your A runner is up to like 8 and so, but getting a chance to look at everything up close and personal is amazing. Does very well inside of the instructions to separate and tell you which parts you're going to need for the runners beforehand, so if you want to gather them ahead of time, it'll save you some headache. And I do love me some panel lining. I do use a fountain pen tip now after shaking the actual ink, and it helps apply it a whole lot more smoother and appropriately than if I was using the brush. And as you can see, it just follows the channel. Easily wiped out. You can use some isopropyl alcohol to clean it up. And it looks good. Really brings out the inner molded detail. And as we were building each of the parts, you can see where all of the angles and cuts were done for all of the model kit. As you go through and place your parts on the actual instructions like I was doing, you can easily follow through and see as you're building what it looks like as you are getting from step to step. Follow the instructions and wow, you tell me what you think. A very pointy boy, I will say. Motor Nuclear being known for that, but their high quality, fantastic pricing is definitely worth it. And as we start to see the head, the chest, and the waist put together, Zhao Yun is looking beautiful. That clear hair, the dangling pieces in the waist, panel lined with different colors and separation for the plastic, which adds to the amount of runners that we ran into. And the shoulders are just dynamic. Not a lot of articulation, but it does not impede or get in the way of its articulation. For the theme of it, I guess. And as you can see in the leg, the different metal pieces that were placed are able to get put together to show you a beautiful leg. And I did panel line a couple pieces that ended up not needing to be panel lined, because they will be covered later. But overall, as Zhao Yun starts coming in, worth all of that effort. And every time I walk into a room and I see him, I'm just blown away by that beautiful blue boy on that gorgeous horse. Of course. That is dope. Zhao Yun coming in and holding his sword as well, easily attached onto the side. But whoo! Beautiful. Now getting to our Yulan horse, you can start seeing how so many of these pieces are going to end up getting put together to be a massive beast. With a stand that can also support all of its weight. Pieces smoothly go together. Was not any fitting issues. And other fun feature is the paper that they come packaged in is going to give you an idea of the size of the unit. But building it in hand is going to just be as amazing. So showing off the inner leg, you can see once it's completed how it's going to finally see and start taking shape. And again, build process is really smooth. Pieces just snap together, fit where they're supposed to. And a very fun build experience. And as the pieces were cut together, I did have a moment like in the foot where I was like, no, this isn't going to work out. But nope, beautiful. Tight articulation, but still, that's not too bad to have for such a large unit. And ignoring the white balance on the video, this looks great as it's starting to come together. Size-wise, one leg is already about the size of a master grade. Bigger than a Gumby. About the size of a Lego plant. All normal things that people have around their house. And build process-wise, it was nice and smooth. And seeing all four legs together is impressive. The horse is really beginning to take shape, and you can feel how strong those legs are as you're building it. And again, body-wise, had panel lined quite a bit, but once everything started getting put together, and a little bit of some forcing because the plastic pieces are so large, you had to make it didn't go in super smoothly. You had to make sure that you were alright, putting pressure correctly. But yep, right here. And squeeze it. Verify and squeeze and check, and you're good. Again, all the plastic was good. It didn't feel light or defective, and I am amazed by this. So thank you again, Gundam. Amazing places. Y'all came for that curiosity, stayed for some good times, and saw an amazing looking model kit. I hope that you enjoyed what you saw, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of this type of model kit with you in the future. We're working on the Gongjiang and other motor nuclear review, amongst others, so stay tuned for some amazing things. We will see you at the next review.